Correct.
Question number 2, Kanwaljit Singh Bakshi.
Mr. Speaker, my question is to the Minister of Finance and asks, what recent reports has he received about the economy's performance?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr. Speaker, the GDP result for the December quarter was published today, showing New Zealand economy grew 0.3% in the quarter and 1.8% in the calendar year 2000. While the quarterly result was below market expectations, the annual growth of 1.8% compares favourably with many other countries. We don't focus on quarterly numbers too much because they move around. The September quarter was better than forecast. The December quarter was a bit lower than forecast, but the economy has grown for 10 of the last 11 quarters, and we're on track for around 2% growth.
Point of order, the Honourable Trevor Mallard.
I have just been informed that the document I referred to in my supplementary was a statement and not an affidavit. I correct and I apologise to the House if I misread.
Order. The member should have... there's no provision under the standing orders to correct a question like that. The member could have sought leave of the House, so with leave of the House the member can do anything, but cannot do that by way of point of order. There is no way to correct a question. The minute the member's got away with it, and I guess I'm best to leave the matter there, but he as an experienced member, should know that. Kanwaljit Singh Bakshi, supplementary question.
Supplementary question to the Minister of Finance. What were the main contributors to the economy growth in the latest figures?
The Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr. Speaker, from quarter to quarter the contribution to growth can shift around a bit, but there was something of a recent trend where the economy is benefiting from an increase in exports and investment. And this, of course, will help New Zealand rebalance over the longer term. Households continue to save a bit more and are careful with their spending. The government is focused on the longer term issues, and that is improving the competitiveness of our business environment, because the only way we get growth in the long run is when we earn more from the rest of the world and when businesses choose to invest more capital and employ more people.
The Honourable David Parker.
Is it correct that during the fourth year of his government, the reports he has received about the economy's performance show that in the last quarter, growth was just a third of his already modest growth projection at the time of the election, that the current account deficit is projected to increase every year, causing New Zealand's overseas debt to get worse by $50 billion over the next 4 years, and that the only statistic showing strong growth is the record number of people moving to Australia?
The Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr. Speaker, some of that may be included in the reports the member is talking about, but the economy is basically on track for what we know is moderate growth, more moderate than we would, of course, like, but compared to the rest of the world, we're in reasonable shape, and employment will continue to grow. Investment is starting to pick up, and we look forward to more contribution from stronger exports and the Christchurch rebuild.
Kanwaljit Singh Bakshi.
Supplementary question. How did the New Zealand's economic growth in 2011 compare to the growth in other countries?
The Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr. Speaker, despite global uncertainty and significant disruptions from the earthquake, it does perform reasonably well. For example, our 1.8% annual growth in GDP was better than 1.6% in the US, minus 0.6% in Japan, 0.7% in the Euro area, and 0.7% in the UK. And of course, our new friends of China are pointing out that China grew faster, but I note that they're very keen to make sure that the Chinese don't invest here to help us with growth.
Kanwaljit Singh Bakshi.
What is the outlook for the economy over the next 3 years?
The Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr. Speaker, the economy will continue to expand as it has for 10 of the last 11 quarters. Over the next 2 years, we would expect that to be maintained or improved by the rebuilding of Christchurch and, of course, the momentum we can get from our two largest trading partners, Australia and China, who continue to grow faster, who continue to grow at a reasonable speed, even if China is slowing down. Our terms of trade remain quite elevated. We will continue to focus on competitiveness for New Zealand businesses, because that is something we can influence. We can't influence the growth of our trading partners.
Question number 3, the Honourable Phil Goff.
Mr. Speaker, my